Hello everyone and welcome back to Grid Ramblings. This has been released on St Patrick's Day, so happy St Patrick's Day everyone. Got my stout at the ready. Lovely. What have we got lined up for you today? Well, we finished the review of this Temu tent. Temu 6-person cabin tent, I think it was called. And then you're going to meet a great friend of mine who's going to cook his version of a Dublin Coddle. And then he's going to read a snippet from one of his books. Something to do with the day that's in it, St Patrick's Day. But for those of you that are tuning on, you want to know about this tent, I'm actually going to do that first. Normally, you're supposed to do it at last so people get to watch the whole video. But if you're here for this tent, for the review, I'm doing it now. So what's this tent like? It's been up for 7 days. It's had rain, hail, very, very strong winds. Sunshine today, the first bit of sunshine, mist, fog, even a tiny bit of sleet. So it's had pretty much everything. I've slept 3 nights in here. The first night I didn't get too much sleep. There was too much flapping going on. The outside was a bit loose. I didn't have all the guy ropes on. But what I've done is I've added clips that I showed you at the end of the last video, I believe. I've added those around and they're pegged out with that. I'll show you in a minute what I mean. The inside is kitted out roughly how it would be for when we go to Rockafon in May, towards the end of May. And that's at Ferry House Racecourse, and that is a absolutely brilliant family time. We go for the weekend. It's tribute bands, tribute rock bands. I'll put a link below, and if you're interested, especially if you're in Ireland, or even if you're just visiting Ireland over that time, well worth going. I think it's only not even €70 per ticket, and that's for 10 hours non-stop music. So this tent, let's show you first, show you back around. I've got it set up for Rockafon, as I just said. Roughly inside is set up for Rockafon, and it's about my fiance. She has a mobility problem, she has arthritis, so she can't get to the ground. I can. So that's how it's set up. We've got a big inflatable bed that is the size of a single bed. It takes up a lot of the tent, but she needs that to be able to be raised off the ground so she can move around properly. So that's how it's set up. Would it fit 6 people? If you use the whole tent, yeah. If you use the sleeping compartment, 2 adults, 4 smaller children, yeah. So 6-person, I'm going to have to give it that, yeah. If you're at a festival, Glastonbury or one of these, look, you've got a canopy, you've got another canopy. You've got 6 adults who'll sleep in there for a festival, no problem. You're not going to be taking much else. So, anyway, I'll show you around. I'll come back and sit down, and you can see how I've set it up for Rockafon. As you see, I've put loads of guy ropes out. I've got all these extra attachment points, like here, so that can be pegged into the ground. But anyway, let's get into the tent itself. There is the big bed. And when I say big, it is big. That is the same size as a full-size single. Very good, very comfortable. There's mine. Just one of my camping air mattresses. I believe that's a little sleeping bag. Very warm. We've got a cooking area. There'll probably be another little table in there, which will have odds and ends on. Underneath cooking out. It's like a cupboard that'll keep the flies out from our food. That's made by Gellert, but I got that in a charity shop. I think for £5. It was as new. Bargain. Big water container. The silver format I've moved backwards at the moment. That I will put under the ground sheet. It's a bit slippery to walk on. Very nice, but it's a bit slippery. I've got another one that is over the roof. Not over the roof, over the netting on the inner tent. I think that's worked. It got down to -1. But the coldest it got in here, I have got a temperature, I think, is 3.9. That'd be 5 degrees above what the coldest temperature was. How do I know what the coldest temperature was? It's because it sits right next to my weather forecasting meteo thingy bob, whatever you like to call it. So I pulled the outer tent further away from the inner tent, and that was just solely to give it a better chance of not letting any rain through, and also because of strong winds. These clips are brilliant. Yeah, I'll leave a link to those in the description below. So table, 2 chairs, got fire going, couple of storm lanterns. We've got one of our battery lanterns here. I've actually got a solar light to go in the tent that will recharge automatically. So let's put you back. The all important marking. As I said before, I always start at 6 because I believe if you buy anything new, it should be above average, you know. Negatives of this. They didn't supply 2 more poles for the awning. And it's got a complete mesh inner. I would have preferred it if they maybe had a Velcro attachments on. I am really nitpicking. So I'm actually going to drop half a mark. So 1/4 mark off for the poles, 1/4 mark off for the just being a mesh inner. That's it. That's all I can knock off. So that's 5. That leaves it to 5.5. Durability. It's been up for a week. There's no tears. No seams burst. It's not let a drop of water through. No rain, no nothing. Tiny bit of condensation when I'm in there. You get that in virtually everything. But even that was less than I was expecting. So I'm going to have to give it 1 mark extra because it's performed better than I was expecting. So that's taken it to 6.5. Space for what I want it for, which is for me and my fiance going to a rock concert. The inside is what I expected, but these fold out bits that are also the outside, they are brilliant. I'm going to have to give it an extra mark just for these. If it's a nice hot day, you've got a bit of shade. If it's cold, you can have a bit of some keep you warm. And at the moment, that fire was really warm. So where was we? 6.5. Gonna give it 1 mark just for these. That's 7.5. Putting it up. Putting it up was reasonably easy. I know everyone's going, oh yeah, but these pop-up tents take 3 seconds. Yeah, but they wouldn't have put. I believe they wouldn't have put up with the wind this has. Ease of putting it up. I'm gonna give it half a mark just to round things off. Yeah, half a mark for ease of putting up. Where was we? 6.5, 7.5. So half a mark. That brings it to 8. Is it an 8 out of 10? Do you know what? If I'd even said 9 out of 10, because of the price compared to top name brands, value for money, delivery from Temu, all that, I just give that half a mark. I've got to give it another half a mark because I actually enjoy this tent. I really do enjoy this tent. And I hope we're going to use it more than once a year. I will anyway. You'll probably see this on plenty of my videos in future. So that's it. So what have we got up to now? So it went down to 5.5. Then it went up to 6.5. Then 7, 8. That will leave it now 8.5. Yep, that's fair. 8.5 out of 10. So for those of you that just wanted to hear what my review of this is, it's 8.5 out of 10. Now you can go. But I would like you to stay and watch the rest of the video. Celebrate a bit of Irishness today. Yeah, really happy with this. I might make a few more minor alterations, but that's going to be a personal thing. You've seen how it's laid out inside for someone with mobility problems. So if you're trying to persuade someone to go and say, look, if we could do this, do that, show them this video. You know, it's not going to do any harm. Or 2 videos. Yeah, 8.5 out of 10. Very happy. It's on sale for about $1.90 at the moment. I paid about $1.20. $1.90 is still good value. You pay $600-800 for a tent like this in some of the big stores, and it would only perform the same as this, I reckon. That's the end of that segment. Welcome to Shamrock Writings, where we mix a love of stories with the warmth of good food. And being today is St. Patrick's Day, we're going to cook up an old Irish classic, a Dublin Coddle, over a turf fire. A turf is dried peat, which I get from the bog. Traditionally, this dish was a hearty favourite of Dubliners, made with sausages, potatoes and onions. Dublin Coddle isn't just a dish, it's a piece of Irish history. It was a favourite amongst Irish writers, including James Joyce, who mentioned it in the Dubliners. Back in 18th century Dublin, coddle was a perfect dish for families. With no refrigeration, people used whatever leftovers they had. So that would be sausages, bacon and potatoes. All slow cooked together, so it would be ready for when they got home late, sometimes from the pub. But coddle is made from leftovers. As it is without a specific recipe, it does lead to heated debates from purists and typically consists of roughly cut spuds, sliced onions, rashers and sausages. A traditional coddle did not use carrots. The word coddle derives from the French term coudre, which means to boil gently, parboil stew. So I'm going to use whatever I have in my pantry, well, fridge, to make a vegetarian version of Dublin Coddle. That's because I don't eat meat. So I will make this recipe available, the meat and the vegetarian one. It will be below in the comments or below in the description. So for this vegetarian version, we'll be using 6 sausages. They're still in the fridge. 4 slices of Quorn ham. I don't know if it'll work, but we'll give it a go. 500 grams of bacon potatoes. About 4 medium ones, say. And they will be cut into 1/2-inch slices. 1 large onion. I've got 1 and a bit onions. So that would be, say, 200 grams. I'm going to use a Swede, Rutzbugger, turnip, whatever you like to call it. Some parsley, I've got in water, keeping fresh. And the carrots, 200 grams of carrots. And they'll be sliced into slices. There'll be salt and pepper to taste. And about 500 millilitres of vegetable broth or bouillon. Now, if you're not using smoked bacon, you could put a 1/4 of a teaspoon of smoked flavouring, but that's perfectly, that's optional. Also, you could add, say, 180 millilitres of Guinness, Murphy's or other stout or dark beer, but that would only be 15 minutes towards the end, just to simmer that away. But I'm not going to be doing that. I want this reasonably plain. I want it, I'm not even going to brown the sausages much, just give them a tiny colouring, and the same with the onions. I want to keep it quite similar to traditional. So I've got the Dutch oven warming up, so let's get on with the prep. Everything's been washed. Right, let's top and tail those. Right, I think that's quite hot in there, so just raise it up a bit. That should do. See if it's too hot to handle. Oh, crikey. I said it was hot. Let's put the onions in first. Now, I don't want these browning as such. I think I might be fighting a losing battle that way. Give it a quick stir. So now I'm going to go straight in with the sausages. Try and cool everything down. This is the Quorn ham, just to add a bit of smokiness. Well, that's had a few minutes. Tiny bit of colour, not too much. I'm going to just put all this on a plate. Probably should have got a bigger plate. And if you think the fire looks low, it is hot. I can't get too close to it. I've got a nice bed of coals there. We don't have to worry too much. So we're going to use about half the potatoes on the bottom. Sort of like a layer, I suppose. Half the carrots and the Swede. Let's see about. I don't want sausages yet. So about some of the onions. All of the sausages. Then the rest of the onion, bacon, the rest of the vegetables, salt and pepper to flavour, to taste, whatever you like to say. I like quite a bit of pepper. I will just chop some parsley and we'll sprinkle that around. You could make it how you wish. Then the last layer of potatoes. I'll probably try and make this a bit neater. You can hear it frying away underneath. Look at that. Just enough. Then we're going to add 500 ml of stock. And we're going to add the lid. I'm just going to bring that to the boil. Just going to lower it down a fraction. And there you are. Dinner is underway. Well, it's been about half an hour. As you can see earlier, I did add some coals to the top. Let's see how well it's done. I can smell it. That's one thing I can do, is smell it. Actually smells quite good. So, I'm not sure if these are actually hot. Oh yeah. I can actually smell it even more. Oh yeah. Well, that's a cooking. That's it. I'm going to call that it. So we're going to take this off. And I'm going to get a bowl. And I'm going to get my soda bread. I'm going to let it cool down for a bit first. But yeah, I'll give you a close-up before I take it off. My first ever Dublin Coddle. Probably could have added more stock. Anyway, let's see how it goes. I have got my Dublin Coddle. I have got my stout. This one is by the Crafty Brewing Company. A charmingly smooth stout with notes of coffee and chocolate. 4.5%. There, a bit of decoration for the the Coddle. Get rid of that. Even got a glass for the stout. Oh, that's nice. That's not, yeah, that is right up my street. I'm getting it everywhere, but that is me. That's what happens. The sauce, oh God, those sausages are really good in this. This is not at all bad. I think it's pretty damn good. No. But that's it. Total success. Not going to change anything. Sláinte. What a perfect combination for St. Patrick's Day. Oh, no. I forgot my John W. Cambridge soda bread. And the reason I said earlier we need a bit more stock is because we haven't got much to dip it in. Soda bread, Dublin Coddle, St. Patrick's Day, even sunshine. Get stout. Oh, go, and we'll take this and peek. Hi everyone and welcome back. You know, when you're out camping, sitting by a lovely campfire in March, there's nothing better than a good story. Luckily for me, I know just a guy to tell you one. Oi, Mr. Shamrock, get over here. You want some words to go with that fire then? Sure do. These folks love a good adventure. But first, a few questions. Oh. You know, Shamrock, I've been hearing whispers about some of the books you've got in the works. Care to spill the beans? Well, I do have quite a few. Well, to be honest, I have a number of short stories coming out soon for the younger child. One is called Arthur and His Lemons. It's a fun adventure about a boy and his granddad shopping for lemons. There's another one that will be a series. It's a historical series. Arthur and Grandad's travels through time, the history of Ireland, where they explore the past together. That should be out about October. Not forgetting the adults, there'll be something for them with Sonia C. Dillon's book called A Decision. It's about a mother's struggle bringing up an autistic son while being in a toxic marriage in 90s, and the attitudes of 1990s Dublin. That should be out July. Sounds like some great reads Where can folks find them? They'll be on Amazon, so keep your eyes open. And if you love storytelling, follow along on the Shamrock Writings Facebook, Instagram, YouTube channel. Well, folks, you heard it here first. I'll put the links in the description for you. Now, how about a fireside story? Have you anything to do with today, St. Patrick's Day? Well, not a short story as such, but a snippet from my history book for children, which is about the history of Ireland. And this bit is about St. Patrick. Okay. So at the moment, this is titled Chapter 5, so it's only a small bit of it. The arrival of Christianity. Arthur and Grandad, next adventure, took them to the 5th century, a time of great change in Ireland. When they arrived, they found themselves in a small village, where the crowd had gathered around a man in simple robes, speaking with great passion. "That's St. Patrick," Grandad whispered. "He's teaching people about Christianity." Arthur squinted at the man. "Are you sure, Grandad? He doesn't look very saintly. He just looks, well, kinda tired." Grandad chuckled. "Well, it was a tough job, Arthur. You'll be tired too if you had to explain complicated ideas using plants." Arthur listened closely as St. Patrick held up a shamrock and used its 3 leaves to explain the Holy Trinity. The crowd oohed and ahed, just like he'd pulled off the world's greatest magic trick. Arthur couldn't help but lean over to Grandad and whisper, "Do you think he knows it's just a reed?" Grandad smiled. "It's all about how you present it, Arthur." As the villagers clapped, a grumpy goat wandered into the middle of the crowd, jumped up towards St. Patrick, and snatched the shamrock right out of his hand and started munching on it. St. Patrick sighed. "That was my last one." Arthur tried not to laugh, but the goat gave him a smug look, as if to say, "You're welcome." Now that was a story worth telling. And how could you come up with the goat? That's great. If you want to hear more from Shamrock, go and check his YouTube account, but also Facebook, Instagram, and he's got a website as well. I'll put all the details below. I'm going to round this video up. Until next time, bye to Shamrock. Keep the campfires burning. And keep the stories alive. Like, comment, subscribe, all those usual things. Let's grow this community. Irish stories, Irish fire, Irish food. What couldn't be better for St. Patrick's Day? Happy St. Patrick's Day, and talk to you soon. Bye.